first was introduced to WVSOM when I was applying to schools and I was looking through osteopathic schools. I was very interested in WVSOM, but at that time they only took students that were in-state. My next experience with WVSOM was when I was an intern and we had students rotating at the hospital I was at in Lancaster, Pennsylvania that came from WVSOM. I was reintroduced again when I was in practice in Arkansas, and my residency director from Lancaster was acting dean here at the time, and he found out that I was thinking of leaving and he had me come in and interview. I had not been to West Virginia before I came and interviewed, though we had come down through this area on our way to Arkansas from Pennsylvania when I moved out there, and we both commented on how much we liked the area. You know, we came to interview and I wasn't sure if I wanted to start teaching that early in my career, so I was kind of hesitant. And then I came here and I realized that the clinic was in its infancy because it had been busy and then they died down a little bit and it wasn't as busy as it had been. It didn't have a lot of the things that I had to put in place in the clinics I came from. I was medical director of 4 clinics in Arkansas. I wasn't really eager to do that. But you know, my wife went into Kroger's and went shopping, and lots of people were talking to her that she didn't even know, and she just loved the area. And when we finished with the interviews, she said, "What do you think?" I said, "I'm not sure." She said, "Well, I'm coming." So here I am. Well, generally my experience has been good because I stuck it out for 30 some odd years. I'd have to say some of the things I'm most proud of is things that we've done at the clinic. I can remember coming here, and when I came here we didn't even have a common chart. Everybody kind of did their own chart. And we created a common chart and a common preventive flow sheet. At the school, I'd say mostly curricula would be what I'm probably proud of. We've created several courses: physical diagnosis course, clinical science, clinical skills course. Those are still going. When the Kellogg grant came out, we had to create a course that included cultural diversity, prevention, Appalachian history, public health, some other topics, and I got to work on that, and then I ran that course for many years. I mean, the state was having some financial problems. Felt 3 medical schools, they could probably do with 2. The question would be which school. First year we were kind of attacked at, and it was suggested that we be the school that closed. A lot of people out in different communities throughout the state reacted to that and said, "No, my doctor is from there." And I think it became known at that time that we had produced so many physicians for the rural areas of the state. And about that same time, that Kellogg grant came out, which brought quite a bit of money. I think it was $6 million into the state. And I think that helped finance the state a little bit for a couple of years, so that we weren't really attacked again quite right away. But yeah, I think at that point it started proving that we made it known that we were doing what our mission is. I would say one of them would be graduation in the rain. That was when Dr. Jones, Owen Jones, was still president. We'd set up a stage up near the hill, and then everybody sat down in chairs, and we didn't have a tent or anything. So if it rained, we would have our service over at that time at the Baptist Church in Fairleigh. Well, the class did not want to have it there, and they talked Dr. Jones into having it no matter what the weather was. So as we were marching in, it started to sprinkle, and Dr. Jones was walking down. I remember his wife walking right beside him, telling him that he was crazy, he should be stopping this, we should be doing it, but he let it go on, and then it started pouring. And some of us had umbrellas, but some of us did not have umbrellas. And we sat there through the whole graduation in the pouring rain. I remember going home and having empty water out of my shoes. One of the other memories that I really kind of enjoy is that of Thanksgiving dinner. Dr. Edelman started that for the students, where if students couldn't make it back home because of the short Thanksgiving vacation, he went ahead and sponsored Thanksgiving dinner for them. I enjoy giving back to the students what people gave to me. It's one of the reasons I think I went into teaching. At the time, like I said, I had actually asked for a recommendation from my residency director as I was applying to other clinics for a job, and that's when he said, well, why don't you come down to the school and interview? And I thought about it, and I had always thought it would be nice at some point to go into teaching, maybe toward the end of my career, and try to give back to students what I had been given by people. But I did a little sooner than I thought. As we've grown and we've had more students and more faculty and more staff, we have a bigger footprint in the community. So we are a larger portion of that community. We're one of the larger employers. And then as far as students, each of our students' clubs have connections to an organization out in the community. They have to partner with one. And that has, again, more students, more clubs, more partnering. So that has helped. And then, of course, Dr. Nimitz's starting up the Center for Rural and Community Health now we have a building downtown too. But we've always done a lot with the community, health fairs, the mini medical school, things like that. There are more schools now that are in rural areas, but when this school started, it was one of the few, and has remained, one of the few until most recently, when several other schools have started up in rural areas. If you're going to use one word, you got to use family. I mean, everybody says that, but it's true. Most everyone knows everyone. We have spats, but when push comes to shove, we all support each other.